On location, and we're here at Matsuricon 2012 with Dennis Daniel. So, how did you first get into the world of press, Dennis?
Well, first of Alex, of course, the pleasure is all yours to have me on your show. So, well, it's a funny story. It's actually a very good story about a man named Jed. Not really Jed. That's a Beverly Hillbilly joke. You know, Jed. Well, I got into the press by having a radio show, the All Taste Explosion with the Boogaloo Shrimp featuring John Pokemon. Formerly on BearcastRadio.com, but coming this fall to BlogTalkRadio.com. And the radio actually started out with my dad, who was a traveling DJ. You know, he'd do weddings, anniversaries, and I would be his assistant. More like a gopher. You know, go for this, go for that. And after seeing him do all this, you know, I go to UC, University of Cincinnati, get my degree in media. I see a flyer in one of the halls I had a class in, and it was for BearcastRadio.com. Plug. It was the university's radio station. So I go over there, I audition, and bada bing, bada boom. Next thing I know, I'm on the radio talking about what I want to talk about. And the true story about the title of my show, the All Taste Explosion, I saw 3 signs in TUC, the Tangiement University Center. And we took those 3 signs that each had a word in it, All Taste Explosion, slapped them together, All Taste Explosion. Now, people ask the name Boogaloo Shrimp, the handle, where'd it come from? Well, if you've ever seen the episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where Will and Carlton go to Las Vegas and they lose all their money and they got to enter a dance competition to get the money to go back to L.A., they actually enter a contest and the announcer announces them as Will the Thrill and Boogaloo Shrimp. So, I like the name Boogaloo Shrimp, stuck with me, and the rest, as they say, is history.
All right. How did Kevin Lillard inspire you, to work with Anime Press?
Ooh. I've known Kevin for a very long time, I believe since 2004. And he goes to these conventions and he takes pictures and I talk with him. You know, we talked about, you know, doing all this cool press stuff. You know, we talk about, you know, he's a freelance photographer when he's not doing conventions. And, you know, I recently just started doing conventions. Like I'd say 2010 was the first year I only did one convention, that was SugoiCon. Yeah. And, you know, it was pretty decent. Not a lot of stuff going on, but I figure, well, since we do an anime talk show / podcast, you know, maybe we should start going to the cons, you know, get some of these con goers interactions with this con. So slowly but surely, I'm not calling you Shirley, so don't call me Shirley. We started doing these conventions. We started doing Animation and Gaming Ohio. I go to Washington, D.C. every year for the Cherry Blossom Festival, so we cover the street festival that's going on and the Cherry Blossom performances. We then start going to Otakon. Actually, I just got done doing my first Otakon this past year, and you can check it out at the Otakonathon. Be on YouTube real soon at All Taste Explosion. Subscribe, by the way, and subscribe to AnimeOnLocation.tv. And you know, I'm starting to eventually get more conventions under my belt. If you can see my belt under my stomach. I know, and he's funny. And ladies, he's single. And I hope that we can continue to, you know, give the fans what they want. They want to see guests. They want to see other congoers. They want to see cosplay photos. And my show, we're trying to give them all that. You know, we're not just anime. We're pro wrestling. We're pop culture. We're the best of all 3 worlds smashed into one. And that's why the All Taste Explosion is your one source for anime, pro wrestling, and pop culture. And I hope in the near future that any cons that are listening to this or watching this, we are a very outgoing outlet, and we will give you the best coverage that you can get for free.
All right, sounds wonderful. Now, we talked about University of Cincinnati earlier. How did they help get the ball rolling for you?
Well, UC has a very awesome radio station, like I said, called Bearcast Radio, and they give you the chance to hone your skill in front of a small audience. Bearcast isn't just, you know, an organization. It's actually a way of life now for me, and they help me get my start. They have the technology that you need to set up interviews, talk to your audience, tell them what you want. And Bearcast helped me, you know, get this career started. I want to go into radio full time as a profession because Bearcast Radio helped me get the tools and techniques that I need to make it out there in the industry. Sure, it's hurting now, but I feel radio is going to be the savior of a lot of the economy because everyone listens to radio. It's a free outlet. Everyone has access to it. And I feel like I can bring some notability and respect and honor back to radio, because you got Rush Limbaugh yelling, Howard Stern, he's going downhill so faster than he used to. But I feel like I can bring some nobility and respect back to radio. I've billed myself as Cincinnati's next big radio personality. And UC helped me find that. I've won awards for my stuff in Bearcast, the Innovator of 2009 and the Lifetime Achievement Award winner last year for my contributions to that station. And they say I gave a lot to Bearcast, but Bearcast gave me the most. They gave me direction. They have great people there who run it, great student directors. They've got a guy there, John Owens. He will help you out all he can, and he took an overweight kid with a lot of ambition and turned him into a slightly more overweight kid with passion, respect, and professionalism to make it in the radio industry.
All right.
So Bearcast, if anyone's going to UC this fall, Bearcast, you don't even have to be an e-media student to join it. You can just go there, get a show, hone your craft there. One of the best movements I've ever had in my life.
Sounds wonderful. As we've already gone over, you're a big wrestling fan. I watch Botchamania every now and then, so I think we kind of, share that similar ground. You've had a chance to interact with those portions of the industry.
Yes, I actually, at A&G Ohio this past year, I got to color commentate on the Cosplay Wrestling with Matthew. We're good friends now, and we hopefully have him on our show in the near future to cover some of the big events like SummerSlam, the Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. I've actually got to interview several WWE superstars and Hall of Famers, such as John Cena, and he's big. He's big. We interviewed at-time Intercontinental Champion Kofi Kingston, one of my personal favorites, a real high flyer. And just this past April, we got to interview WWE Hall of Famer James J. Dillon, who is the original manager of the Four Horsemen, who really revolutionized pro wrestling and put it on the map. And we've also interviewed guys like the World Warrior Low Key, formerly Caval of WWE fame, and our good buddy, Tough Enough contestant, and the guy that should have won season 3 of Tough Enough, Jeremiah Riggs. He's a real big, fun-loving guy, and I just gotta say, he's awesome. He's got his own trucking business, and the guy deserves to be in the squared circle more than any of those guys that won. Especially Big Andy, who's now currently a big star Bucks employee. Sorry, Andy. Kind of screwed yourself there. But wrestling is so amazing, and I know people think it's just a bunch of meatheads in colored spandex, grabbing each other, and they're right. Yeah. But there's a storyline aspect, drama. These guys leave their families for 11 months of the year to travel around the world, across each continent and country, to entertain millions of fans all over the world, whether it's on TV, live in person. They take time to shake hands, sign autographs, and they've earned a lot of my respect, especially John Cena, who we've established. I've talked with Michael Chiappetta, who's friends with the internet champion Zack Ryder. Cena does not need a championship belt to be a champion in WWE. His passion, dedication, and loyalty to the fans and the company make him the top superstar. He may not have the moves that he used to have, and people may criticize him by saying he can't wrestle, but John Cena shows more professional and maturity in the wrestling ring than I've seen in any superstar, especially The Rock. No offense to The Rock, he did put wrestling on the map, but to come back after 7 years and expect to be the top dog once again, that's kind of a spit in the eye. And I respect John Cena for having to eat the crow that he did at WrestleMania this year to let The Rock win. And that was truly humbling, and it earned more brownie points in my book for John Cena. I got respect for the man, and I can't say a bad thing about the guy.
All right. And not to be outdone, My Little Pony. This show.
Kids and your ponies today. What is the deal?
What makes it so special?
What makes My Little Pony special? Well, I'll tell you, Alex, it's the fan base. Let's face it. This generation of My Little Pony has probably had more of an impact on the series than the generation with Sandy Duncan and her creepy glass eye. It's creepy, let's be honest. Is it not creepy? It's creepy. But I just talked to Kathy Westluck, who's Spike the Dragon, and she is just a wonderful voice actress. I mean, you've got some crackerjack performers in this series. Tara Strong, Kathy Westluck, Ashley Ball, Andrea Libman, Tabitha St. Germain. These kids are incredible, and they bring something to the table that has broken the stereotype of My Little Pony. It's no longer cutesy wootsy and flowers and butterflies and rainbows, but they're slapstick elements, hints of Samuel Beckett theater of the absurd, a comedy aspect. We've seen aspects from I Love Lucy in the series. We've seen the fourth wall being broken numerous times, and there's something in that show that we can all learn again. The thing is that people think it's just for kids. Well, if learning to respect yourself and others, never giving up on yourself, and helping your friends out when they need you, if that's childish and immature, I ain't never want to grow up.
All right. You also have a panel that you present on this.
We just had My Little Brony, a My Little Pony Friendship is Magic panel, and we talked about some important issues in the My Little Pony community, such as the pony that every pony should know, where Season 3 can go now that Season 2 and 1 are finished, what the future holds for the brony population. And I gotta say, the bronies here at Matsuricon have been mind-blowing. I mean, the panel was a roaring success. We had sing-alongs, we aired an episode, we had so many people just interacting with this panel, and I hope that Matsuricon will have us back again next year to do another panel. I would love to get some of the VAs involved in it, talk about what's going down. But I gotta say that if anyone has earned my respect on that show, it's Kathy Westluck, because she has broken the mold when it comes to voice actresses. I've got so much respect. She's been on the show. She was on the show in February, blew me out of the water, and I just love her so much. She's so talented, and for being in the company for 20 years and doing voice acting, she's earned the respect of probably everyone in the anime industry, and she's truly one of the gems of anime voice acting. So we got to remember to keep her on top. Not saying that I'm not Twilight-licious. I mean, I am Twilight-licious, but her and the others, they are just a mainstay in the pony universe, and I hope that Season 3 will blow all the other seasons out of the water, and hopefully continue the fine tradition that the new generation has had on the community and the world, for that matter.
All right. Tell us about your broadcast style. What do you bring to the table for your interviews when you are discussing things with your guests?
Normally we wing it a lot. No, I'm kidding. We do our research in advance on some of our guests. We watch episodes of the shows that they are in. We get audio clips from that, make a small demo reel at the beginning of every episode, to establish who they are. Because I assume that no one knows who these guests are. That's okay if you don't know, because my show is about introducing future voice actors to the icons and legends of today and yesterday and tomorrow and the day after that, hopefully. And we do our research. We share the questions with the guests before, so we have no ruffled feathers or scales in Kathy's case. We also like to take listener questions as well. We want to get the audience involved in this. And I am happy to say that with our big move to Blog Talk Radio, we're going to be able to get the fans more interactive than ever. We're actually going to have a toll-free number they can call into and talk to the guests. I'm really excited about that. We're going to open the door to so many cool things. But of course, we always ask them the hard-hitting questions that voice acting fans and those who want to get their start in the industry want to know. How'd they get their start in acting? Do they have any advice for those who want to pursue a career? What's it like to work on this show, that show? Yeah, we even try to get a few voice requests, and I've told you, I've gotten chewed out by some pretty crazy characters. When we had Eric Stewart on the show in 2010, he actually trash-talked me and my co-host, John Pokemon, as Kaiba. He goes, "Yeah, let me get one thing straight. Just because you have some kooky radio station that broadcasts to 3 people, you think you and your kooky radio sidekick, whose second name is a cheap second-rate show, can beat the greatest duelist ever? Seto Kaiba, let me think. I think the answer is no." And then we go into a big tirade on how he's beaten all these people, and I go, "I know there's one person you cannot take on and beat," and he goes, "And that would be," and I go, "Me." And that would eventually lead to something we called the duel to end the rule, where it would be me against Kaiba for BearcastRadio.com's control. Of course, I won, and a lot of Kaiba fans were not happy about that. But hey, you mess with my station, you mess with my show, you better be ready to take the long, hard fall down to the ground.
All right. What do you have lined up for the future? And do you have a final message for all the viewers out there?
Oh, we've got so much lined up. We're actually here at Matsuricon. We're confirming some future interviews. We've got Scott McNeil lined up, Sonny Strait, Todd Haberdashery. Todd Havicorn. Kidding. I'm kidding, kids. We're going to get J. Michael Tatum. We met with him at Otakon. We're going to set a full interview up so everyone can listen to him. We want to give our guests the stage and the time that they deserve, because we have mass respect. We're huge fans of a lot of their work. We're always getting new guests. We're proud to announce that in the near future, we're going to have Little Crevo back on for a third time. It's been 2 years since our interview with him, and we've got to bring back the Egyptian Age Outlaws to run once again with Dennis and John Pokemon of DX. We're going to have, hopefully, Kathy Westlick back on to talk about Season 3. We just got done having Nicole Oliver. We had a big Letters to Celestia contest. We had over 200 letters written to Princess Celestia, and we picked one and we read it on the air to her. And I even got to read my own personal letter about the brony population. Amazing, by the way. Like I said, we're going to have a toll-free line coming up soon that they can talk to their fans, talk to the listeners, ask their questions to the guests on hand. And we got so much great stuff coming up on blogtalkradio.com. This fall is going to be monumental for the show. We're going to have more contests, more guests. We even confirmed the guy with glasses, Doug Walker. He's going to be on as well, talk about, his impact in pop culture, especially on the internet. And if we're lucky, maybe we can get the angry video game nerd on the show as well, because I know that'd be a lot of ass. Yeah, the angry video game nerd meets Dennis Daniel, who can get angry in a heartbeat. But we've got a lot of coming up, and hopefully you guys will like us on Facebook at All Taste Explosion and Dennis Daniel Show, and follow us on Twitter at AT Explosion, The Dennis Daniel, and John PKMN, and subscribe to us on YouTube at All Taste Explosion, and check out alltasteexplosion.com. We're getting ready for a big overhaul of the website. We're going to have more features on there, such as a Follow 5 Friday, where we feature 5 followers from our Twitter account. More reason to follow us. Not Safe for Wednesday, where we feature a Not Safe for Work video every Wednesday that is just mind-blowingly bad. Freebie Friday, where we offer you guys awesome smartphone apps for your phone that are free and you don't got to pay a dime. This week is going to be Amateur Surgeon number 2. I'm playing it. I'm hooked on it already. We're going to restart up the Brony of the Week. It's a parody of Zack Ryder's Broski of the Week, where we pick a brony on the internet and we just feature them because they're worth being featured. And what else? We're always in the progress of finding new things to do for the show. And if I have one final thing to say is, folks, this has been a lot of fun, and I'm having a lot of fun on this journey. And if I can give you guys one piece of advice, that would be to keep plucking that chicken. No one knows what that means. It was actually keep effing that chicken. It was a newscaster joke that apparently wasn't supposed to air. But I can really give you advice is to follow your dreams. If there's something you want to do, do it. That nothing is too big if you believe in it. And if all else fails, hey, you can get a talk show just like me.
All right. Dennis Daniel, everyone, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Be sure to subscribe to these guys, animeonlocation.tv, and subscribe to us. And hopefully we'll see you down the road on The Dennis Daniel Show or the All Taste Explosion with the Boogaloo Shrimp featuring John Pokemon. See you guys from Matsuricon.